Hello friends and welcome back to Pages and Pens. My name is Julie and today I am here with my January and February wrap-up. Let's jump right into it. So it is officially late at night. My shelves are a little bit of a mess because I have pulled out so many books, but I did not do a wrap-up in January. We found ourselves at the first day of March, and I need to film my wrap-up so that you guys know what I've been reading so far in 2021. So that's what today is going to be. I have not been doing my vlog style wrap-up, which is a change for me. It's one of the things I loved most about my channel is that I would give you guys a wrap up as soon as I was done reading, and then that way I was able to give you my most like in-depth thoughts as I was reading. But my first couple of books that I read were vlogs, and I didn't keep up with it. I'm hoping to get back to that, but I don't know how much I can promise that I can do that throughout the month anymore, just because I'm so busy. So I think we might be back to like regular wrap-ups. I know, I'm sorry. Let me know in a comment down below which ones you prefer. Do you prefer my vlog styles or do you prefer the end of the month? I can go either way, but I'm leaning more towards the end of the month just because it's hard for me to continue to film these as I go. My very first read for the year was The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, and it was a 5-star read. I absolutely loved this book. I started the year off so strong. I was so in love with it. I'm sure that you guys saw this on a ton of best of videos for 2020, but I did not get to it in 2020. So by the time I got to it, it was 2021. It was a fantastic way to start my year, and I loved starting off with a 5-star read. It was so emotional, but so beautiful, and had a lot of like laugh out loud moments, but very touching moments as well. I cried a lot, but it was so stunning, and I have a feeling that this will be one that I reread quite often. Speaking of rereads, my next book was House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski, which I reread and annotated. My orange tabs were my first read, my green tabs are my reread, and I loved it. I gave this 5 stars. I have an entire reading vlog for this book, as well as a live show for this book, so if you are interested, you can check that out. Both are spoilery, so if you haven't read this one, it is one of my faves. It's fantastic. I have done buddy reads with this both times on Twitter, and I did use my Discord as well for this buddy read. It's not for everybody, but I do really love it. So started my year off strong with those 2 books. And then I read an arc of Our Last Echoes by Kate Alice Marshall, which I don't have yet, but I did pre-order. I'll put the cover up here. I gave that one 4 stars or 5 stars. I should probably check that, shouldn't I? I gave it 5 stars. I started off my year with 3 5-star reads. Really great. Then I moved into Blair, which I'll put here. It was a dark erotica. It was really bad. It was also like 480 pages of really bad, and I kept reading thinking like maybe something it was bad. I don't recommend. 10 out of 10. Do not recommend. I think I gave it 2 stars. Then I read Here to Stay by Adriana Herrera. I believe that was a contemporary arc, and I read that on my Kindle. I gave that one 3 stars. I didn't love it. I didn't love the way the main character, the main love interest, talked about the female main character. There was a lot of like very soft-spoken kind of like sweet man vibes, followed by like, I must have her, which I'm usually down for alpha, but this was like over the top ridiculous the way that he talked about her. And then there's also like a sex scene where she like must have time jumped. She was like in one location and then in another location, or he did that. And I was like, I don't understand how your body physically got from like one place to the next. Like, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. So like, if you're going to take me on a ride, at least make the sex really good. And I didn't love it, but it wasn't horrible. So like, I get it. There was some like cool representation in it. I liked the friend group in it, but it wasn't for me. Then I read, I'm looking for what I have physically and what I don't, The Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Guin, which I finally got to. It took a very long time. I listened to the audiobook, but I did kind of like go through it as well physically as I was listening to it. And I didn't love this as much as I wanted to. I gave it 3 stars. It's still good. I understand that she's like the mother of fantasy, and I understand all she did for the genre, but for me, I didn't love it. But again, this was a very early January read for me, so I don't remember as much. But it felt like there was like pacing issues. I didn't love some of the character developments. So I'm not going to be continuing with the series, but this is a beautiful book. Like physically, it's a beautiful book. I didn't love it. So 3 stars. Then I read The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse by Charlie Mackenzie. Mackenzie. I loved it. I tabbed it. I annotated it. I 5-starred it. I cried. I was going to give this to my sister who is pregnant and was going to have her first baby boy. And I was like, I'm going to give it to her. No, I'm not. I'm keeping it. And she can't have it. It was beautiful. And I loved it a whole lot. I am going to let her borrow it, but she cannot have it. I need it back. I'm going to give this actually to all of my sisters because all of my sisters are mothers and I am not. And I think that it would be good for them to have and read to their children, but like I need it back because it's amazing. So 5 stars. Then I finished Some Kind of Animal by Maria Ramasco Moore. This was a soft DNF from last year that I had an arc of and I was like, I'll finish it. I finished it and I 2-starred it. I shouldn't have finished it. It should have just been an official DNF. Did not enjoy this. Will be unhauling this. Was not a fan. It was really bad and I did not love it. Then I read Skyward by Brandon Sanderson and tabbed and annotated it. This is one of his YA series. This is a sci-fi series that I loved. It reminded me a lot of like an Illuminae kind of a vibe. It is a very intense, very cool sci-fi world. I like the characters. I like the dynamic of the friendships. I like that our main character, Spensa, is very unlikable, but for good reasons. The character development is fantastic, and the world building as he sets up this like larger galaxy is really, really cool. I super enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. Then I read Starsight by Brandon Sanderson, which is book 2. Book 3 should come out this year in November, December, I don't know when. This one expands our galaxy a whole bunch, introduces us to a whole bunch of new species. It's very cool, very diverse, very inclusive and awesome, and also the stakes are raised. It's just madness. I loved it. 5 stars. I cannot wait for the 3rd book. I also read Sylvain Neuvel's The Test. This one is about a test to become a British citizen, and it is about an immigrant who wants safety for his family. So there is a test that needs to take place to determine whether or not they can become a British citizen. Like, you know, do you know British history kind of a situation, only with a sci-fi twist. I did not love it. I felt like it was unnecessarily traumatic, like deeply unnecessarily traumatic, so was not a fan. I gave that 2 stars, which is, it sucked. That sucked a lot. I also read Initial Insult. So that one was in my ARC reading vlog. If you have not seen that, I did not love it. I gave it 2 stars. That was a Mindy McGinnis, and it was not a favorite of mine. It was a disappointment. So that is 12 books that I read in the month of January for 4,596 pages. House of Leaves was 709 pages. Our Last Echoes was a little over 400. Blair was 498, so almost a tome. Skyward is 513. Starsight was 461, so I had some larger books. Let's get into February. My February, I had 12 books as well, and we're going to get into those. So, first up, I had Riot Baby by Tochi Onyebuchi, and this one I didn't love, but I get it. I think maybe, I don't think it was for me, but I liked it. It's short. It was 162 pages. I think I gave this 3 stars. Yes, I did. And again, it's not my kind of story, but I can appreciate what it is and what it was doing. It's just not my vibe. But like the writing style is gorgeous. Then I had some DNFs. I read We Are the Ashes, We Are the Fire in that reading vlog that I can link down below. And then I also did Switch, and I did, which was the other one that I DNF'd? Tell Me My Name. And then I also had House of Hollow in that blog, but House of Hollow was a 5-star read. It was amazing. I loved it. So there's that. I still put the reading vlog up. Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. This is one of his standalone novels in the Cosmere. I loved it. I annotated it. It's fantastic. I think at the end of the year I'll probably have a whole video on all of the Sanderson that I read this year, because it didn't stop here. I read the 2 YA, Starsight and Skyward, and then went into Warbreaker and loved it and was like, oh man, his adult stuff is just so good and it's all I want to read. So I went with it and I continued and I read The Final Empire and The Well of Ascension. I am currently about to dive into The Hero of Ages. I've been listening to these while I diamond paint and also annotating them. These are rereads. I've read this original trilogy before. I am going to be moving on to his second trilogy in this series, as well as I'm going to get into the Stormlight Archives and Elantris and Arcanum Unbounded novella series. Like, I'm going to get into all the Sanderson this year, so just be prepared. These were 5-star reads. I loved all of them. So these were all 5-star books. Like, big old tomes, just all 5 stars. So a lot of Sanderson 5 stars. Then I read How We Fight for Our Lives by Saeed Jones. This one was not an easy read, but I also didn't connect with it as much as I thought I was going to. I gave it 4 stars. By all means, not a bad book. It's darker, very raw, and also very beautifully written. So it's weird for me to rate nonfiction. I usually don't, but for my purposes, I did for this month. Very powerful, but so painful. Like, some of the sexual encounters in this book were very painful to read about, very uncomfortable to read about. Then I read Sugar, which is a graphic novel. It was supposed to be like a smexy, sexy graphic novel. It wasn't really that sexy or that smexy, but I had it on Hoopla, and I had grabbed a whole bunch of books at the end of January, and they were about to run out, so I read them in February really quick, and it was fine. So then the last book that I read outside of that reading vlog, House of Hollow, all of my Sanderson, etc., is The Black Friend on Being a Better White Person by Frederick Joseph. This book is a 5-star book. It was like, and I was like, oh, I know I'm going to like this. I know it's going to be impactful. And then I was highlighting and crying in the preface. It is so amazing. And at the end of the day, we should not be asking our Black friends to educate us and help to enlighten us to the strife and struggle of Black people. Frederick Joseph has done that, and he says very clearly, don't expect this, don't ask for this, but I'm putting myself out there, I'm putting myself through immense emotional pain to write this novel. It's not easy for me, so I'm doing it because if you have this, I assume you want to be a better person and you want to be a part of the solution, so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. We're friends now. Let's go on this journey. Let me show you what it's like, and let me show you how you can be better. Let me show you what allyship is and what being anti-racist is, and then not racist and then actively anti-racist, and how to take your allyship and turn it into action, which is what we need. I don't need you to just use your words and say I support you. Show me, do the things. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but go do the things. And he does that with examples from his own life and things that he's gone through, and interviews and discussions with other authors of color, music industry, people of color, just friends in general that he has known throughout his life. And it is so impactful and so raw and also so beautiful. And I will be passing this on to other friends and family. I'm going to pass this around my sisters with the boy, the horse, the mole, the fox, the other one. Because I think as parents, I want my sisters to read this and just understand what it means to be a white woman and raising white children who need to be better in the world and make the world a safer, more caring, more loving place for children of color in their classes and in their worlds. And my sisters are already very, very compassionate people and very, very loving people. But I think that this will help them learn how to put that into action for their children and for their communities. And it's something that they've expressed wanting to do more of. So I'm really excited to pass this along because I think the more people that read this, the better. And also Frederick Joseph on Instagram and on social media is just very outspoken, and he talks about the struggle and the pain of knowing that he is putting himself at risk, his life at risk, by being as outspoken as he is, and the pain that puts his mother through, and how Black women and Black mothers know that they are going to have to sacrifice people that they love who are outspoken, because they just can't be tolerated to exist in a world where that kind of outspokenness shakes things up too much. And that is heartbreaking. And just, so I'm going to respect and value his hard work on this book by sharing it as widely as I can. So if you're interested, I highly recommend that you pick this up. Candlewick sent me an advanced reader copy as well as a finished copy, and I already donated the finished copy, and I kept the ARC. And I'm very, very happy I donated the copy because I want other people to get their hands on this. I also wish I would have kept it and handed it around to my friends and family so that I could keep this one for myself. But I shall not be selfish with this one. I'm going to spread it as widely as I can. So this is one of my best recommendations from my 2 months of reading. So another 12 books, 24 in total. The ratings are not fantastic overall, but like not horrible. My page count for this month was 3,498, and that's because I counted 3 books as DNFs. Now, each one of those DNFs, I got about 40 to 50% of the way through. For Switch, Tell Me My Name, and We Are the Ashes, We Are the Fire, I counted all 3 of those as DNFs, so the page numbers for those do not count in my overall pages, even though I did read a significant amount of pages. Warbreaker was 650 pages. Mistborn was 643 pages. Well of Ascension is 763 pages. So I read some super long ones. I also read You're So Dead. That one was not in my ARC reading blog, but I did read that. That was an ARC, and it was hot garbage. That one was about a sibling who used her sister's, who was a social media influencer, used her invitation to go to like this rave island party, and then it turned out it was just like a Scooby-Doo mystery island where everybody was getting murdered, and it was absolutely ridiculously stupid. I hated everything about it, but I kept thinking, there has to be a twist. There has to be something. It has to get better. There has to be like a bigger meaning to it, or there's something else here. There wasn't. It was hot, steamy garbage. And I am mad at myself for reading it, quite frankly. This is Editing Julie, correcting something that I forgot. I 100% forgot to mention that I participated in a few readathons in January and February. In January, I did Read Your Shelves, and here is my infographic of everything that I read. I'm pretty sure I succeeded in that one. So that's exciting. And then February, I read Valentines, but Valentines. Here's my infographic for that. I won 2 ways, I believe, on that one, which is pretty cool. So those were the 2 readathons that I did. One, I believe, is run by Kathy, and the other one by Kate, and I will have their information linked down below. February, I started to join the Cosmere Along, which is the Brandon Sanderson readathon, where they read one Sanderson book every month. And February was Warbreaker. And then next month is The Final Empire. And then the following month is The Well of Ascension. But I've read ahead now far in advance. January was Elantris, and I did not read that, but I do own that. So at some point I will read that. So I took part in the 3 of those. The Cosmere Along, Athon, Crab Along. It'll be linked down below. Valentines, and the Read Your Shelves. For March, I'm not doing a TBR, but I will be trying to do the Queer Lit-a-thon as well as Backlist Readathon. And then I think Amy from Amy Reads had the Backlist Readathon information. I'll link her video down below as well. So I think those are going to be what I do for March. And I'm going to try to get a wrap up for March filmed and up for you. But I forgot last night as I was filming that I participated in some readathons. So I'm trying to like grab the ones here or there that I'm already kind of reading those things anyway, that I naturally kind of succeed at because I'm really mood reading right now, which is why I don't have any TBRs. So that's my update. Back to other Julie. I think takeaways are new Sanderson, rereads of Sanderson. Rereads were a thing this month, these last 2 months. 3 rereads, 5 Sanderson. At all my 5-star reads though, like that's all of them. Like, that's some amazing 5-star reads. Like, truly, truly great ones. And then also The House of Hollow, which was an ARC, which I don't have physically yet, but I do have pre-ordered. Go read this book. Just, that's my takeaway. Read that book. Yes, this one is worth the hype. It's simple, but it's beautiful. Yes, also, this one's worth the hype. They're fantastic. And then I know not everybody's into Sanderson, but I super am, so expect more from me on that because I plan on reading through just like all his work this year, apparently. So that's it for my wrap up for January and February. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Let me know which one of these you have read and is your favorite. Do you want to get to any of these? Have I encouraged you to pick any of them up? Let me know your favorite book from January, February that you have read. I'm always looking for suggestions. Leave it in a comment down below. Give me a big thumbs up, click subscribe. Click the notification bell so you know when I put out new videos, but that's going to be it for this one. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends. Oh my God. Oh.